Hello everyone, my name is Sabrena and I'm a programmer at the People's Library. Today for Storytime, I'm going to be reading The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. This book was copyrighted in 1992 by Shogo Harada, originally published by Joey Incorporated. It was also copyrighted in 1992 by Modern Publishing, a division of Unisystems Incorporated. "It's a twister!" called Uncle Henry and Aunt Em to Dorothy as a cyclone hurled toward their farmhouse in Kansas. "Toto! Toto! Where are you?" shouted Dorothy. By the time Dorothy found her little dog, Aunt Em and Uncle Henry were in the storm cellar. Outside, Dorothy and Toto faced the storm alone. Dorothy and Toto ran into the farmhouse just as the cyclone ripped it out of the ground. Up, up the house soared into the air, twirling round and round high above the farm. Dorothy and Toto were in the center of the terrible storm. The house landed with a thump in a strange yet wonderful land. Dorothy had never seen such blue skies, colorful flowers, a brightly shining sun, or people like those walking toward her. One of them was the most beautiful woman Dorothy had ever seen. "Welcome to Oz and the land of the Munchkins. I am Glinda, the Good Witch. These are the Munchkins," she said, pointing her wand to the oddly dressed little people standing around her. "They sent for me to thank you for killing the Wicked Witch of the East." "But I've never killed anything," said Dorothy. "Yet there she is, under your house, gone forever. Except for her silver slippers, which are now yours to keep," said Glinda. "But I must get back to Kansas. Can you show me the way?" asked Dorothy. "Only the wizard, who lives in the city of Emerald, can help you," answered Glinda. "To get there, you must follow the road of yellow bricks," she added, pointing the way. The Munchkins and Glinda waved farewell to Dorothy, who wore the silver slippers, and to Toto, who eagerly ran ahead. On the way to the city of Emerald, Dorothy met a scarecrow who wanted a brain so he could do his own thinking, and a rusted tin woodman who wanted a heart so he could have true feelings. And a cowardly lion who wanted the courage to become the king of beasts. "You all must come with me to see the wizard," said Dorothy. "Maybe he can help you too." Her new friends were happy to join her, but more than anything else they wanted the wizard to grant Dorothy's wish, so she could return home to Kansas and to Aunt Em and Uncle Henry, whom she missed very much. On and on they walked until they came to a cliff. "What will we do now?" wondered Dorothy. "I've got an idea," said the Scarecrow. "Tin Woodman, chop down that tree. Then we'll walk across. I'll go first to make sure it's safe for everyone," said the Lion bravely. One by one they safely reached the other side. When they did, the Tin Woodman wept with happiness until he nearly rusted all over again. Finally, the weary travelers reached the city of Emerald. It was so bright within the city that the gatekeeper gave each of them, even Toto, green glasses. Then they were brought to see the mighty Wizard of Oz. "To return to Kansas, to get a brain, to have a heart, to be courageous, you first must destroy the Wicked Witch of the West," proclaimed the all-knowing wizard. Trembling, Dorothy and her friends left the palace in search of the Wicked Witch of the West. Furious to learn that there were strangers in her kingdom, the Wicked Witch of the West sent for her slaves, the winged monkeys. "Bring the girl to me, and throw the others in the dungeon," she commanded. The monkeys flew off and captured the frightened travelers. Dorothy was brought before the witch. "I want those silver slippers," threatened the witch. She alone knew their power and how to use it. But Dorothy wouldn't give them up. Unable to take the shoes, the witch tripped Dorothy with her cane. "Oh my!" Dorothy cried as she toppled to the floor. One of the slippers fell off her foot. The witch shrieked with glee. "You're a mean, wicked old witch," sobbed Dorothy angrily, throwing a bucket of water on the witch. Drenched, the witch began to melt until she disappeared. At last, the Wicked Witch of the West was dead. Dorothy and her friends returned to the City of Emerald. Soon they were standing before the mighty Wizard of Oz once again. But when Toto pulled back a curtain, in the corner of the room, they saw an ordinary man, seated on a high chair working a machine that made the wizard's face move and talk. "Who are you?" asked Dorothy. I am the Wizard of Oz," he said. "Well, I'm not really a wizard," he confessed to everyone's surprise. "You tricked us," said the Scarecrow, knowingly. "You're a phony," said the Tin Woodman, sadly. "What about your promises?" asked the Lion boldly. Although not a wizard, Oz was a wise man. "Scarecrow, Tin Woodman, Lion," he began, "you already are smart and sensitive and brave. From this day on, you'll each have a symbol to remind you." Then he gave the Scarecrow a pincushion brain to prove he was sharp, the Tin Woodman a heart to fit into his chest of tin, and the Lion a dose of courage. But the only way Oz could grant Dorothy's wish was to take her to Kansas in his balloon. "Hurry, Dorothy!" he shouted. But the balloon began to rise before Dorothy could climb in. "How will I get home now?" Dorothy asked. Then Glinda appeared. "Wish upon the silver slippers," she said. In a twinkling, Dorothy was back in Kansas, rushing toward Uncle Henry and Aunt Em, who were as happy to have her back as she was glad to be home again. Toto was happy too. The end. And that was The Wizard of Oz. Alright, everybody. There's also a link in the description below to a Hoopla ebook, Wizard of Oz, by Maggie Blossom. There's also a link to a craft where you can make Dorothy, Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Cowardly Lion. And there's a fun song link where you can do the song If You're Happy and You Know It, where you can clap your hands, stomp your feet, nod your head, and shout hooray! Everybody stay safe and healthy, and I will see you next time.